Camera Roar, other frontrunners, and many amateur athletes were seen sporting these neon pink Nike Vaporfly sneakers.
Welcome to the second video. This is something I've wanted to talk about since it started. So, pretty much everywhere, everyone's been, not so much the Zoom flies, but this will come back up in discussion, but mainly the Vaporfly Next Percents. A lot of people have been, well, also, before I start talking, let me say, I'm a big fan of the Vaporflies. I'm a big fan of everything evolved around it. You know, I've got the 159.40 tattooed on my freaking arm for it. I'm a big fan of Nike, big fan of Eliud Kipchoge, everything that they've done. So Vaporflies, I might sound dumb for this, Vaporflies are like Jordans to me, okay? And the Vaporfly Next Percents, you know, the greens, that's like getting like a pair of cement threes, for those who know what I'm talking about. There's a lot of sentimental value behind these shoes. You know, a lot of history behind the shoes as well. You know, since the Breaking 2 project, the Ineos 159 project, there have been a lot of talk, a lot of bad talk about the Vaporflies, and I don't understand why. So the main argument is that it gives an advantage in racing over athletes not wearing them. You know, which makes sense because there's a lot to back up behind it. You know, although these are the Next Percents, the Vaporfly Elites are pretty much the exact same thing, but with a Flyknit upper. So I'm just going to be referring them to as Vaporflies. The first Breaking 2 project was ran in Vaporflies. The world record for the men's and women's marathon are ran in Vaporflies. The men's half marathon world record is ran in Vaporflies. I'm pretty sure, I gotta double check since New York was just this last weekend, I'm pretty sure all 6 major marathons were, like, the winners were ran in I'm gonna double check to make sure. I'll have pictures on the screen of all the winners, but I'm pretty sure all 6 major marathons this year were ran in a pair of, I don't know, was Tokyo happened yet? I don't know Tokyo, but I'm pretty sure all 6 major marathons, the winners were ran in a pair of Vaporflies on both the men's and women's side. I'm not too sure about the women's, I gotta double check. But regardless, so there's a lot of talk saying how it gives you an advantage over runners that don't have it, and for whatever reason, you know, obviously, yes, because, you know, the carbon plate obviously does what it's supposed to do, which gives you this one's like 4.6% efficiency return, which my argument against it is, obviously Nike came out with these 2 years ago, but now we have the Hoka Carbon X, Brooks is in prototype phase with the carbon fiber plate, Asics is in prototype phase, and it should be coming out soon. Adidas isn't. That's really all I can think about. I don't think New Balance did, but anyways, a lot of these other shoe companies are coming out with carbon fiber plate shoes just to try to catch up with them. Something pretty much what I say is these are the track spikes of the road races. What I mean by that is, let me go grab a track spike. Now what I mean by that is, you know, this green part, you have a plate, which helps kick you forward. And obviously you're moving a lot faster. You know, I use these for 800 mile, 2 mile. You know, you're moving a lot faster than you are in a half marathon, but, you know, this plate here is supposed to kind of kick you forward as you step, which is exactly what's inside these. It helps kick you forward. So, you know, my thing is, you know, they're the track spikes of the road. You know, before track spikes were invented, everyone was running in flats, and now, you know, you watch any track meet, everyone's got a pair of spikes on. So that's where I'm kind of getting confused as to why people are complaining about them. You know, one of the arguments is, if you're not a Nike signed athlete, like if you're a pro athlete, you can't wear them. My argument against that is, the company that you're signed under doesn't make shoes as good as them. Obviously, I'm not going to name the names of the athletes, but I will name the names of the companies. New Balance and Under Armour have camouflaged Vaporflies. and had their pro athletes wear them. Some Under Armour athletes also trying to deny the fact that they were wearing them. I'm sorry that your company can't make a shoe as good as the Next Percents, which also leads into my next argument. Right now, I'm pretty sure the only other carbon fiber plate based shoe that's out right now are the Hoka Carbon X's. Obviously, pro athletes aren't wearing those. It's also because of the Zoom X foam. I would probably say the foam does more than the plate, because how light it is. If you ever get a chance to hold one of these in your hand, you will understand just how light these things are. It's insane. Here's a shoe no one talks about when trying to ban carbon fiber plate based shoes. This shoe, the Zoomfly 3, has the exact same plate as Vaporfly Next Percent. If I were to cut off all the foam and take out the plate, the Next Percent might be curved a little bit different, but they're the exact same plate. It's made out of same material, carbon fiber. It's like a spoon shape, just like the Next Percent, yet no one talks about these. These are extremely heavy compared to the Next Percents. I will have the weight difference on the screen, but the bottom is made out of React foam instead of the Zoom X, and that's where the majority of the weight comes from. And then obviously they have this like under layer underneath the vapor weave, and it has this really thick toe piece right here. So it's not just the plate that's making this shoe amazing, it's how light they are. So I don't really understand. I don't believe that they should be banned. Obviously all these world records are being set in the Next Percents, which, to me, that's fine. It's just we're in an advancement of, the running world for the, all half marathon. Obviously Eliud Kipchoge just went 1:59.40, and they're called the Vaporflys, which has these Zoom Air units as well as a 3-layer carbon fiber plate. And a lot of people were complaining about how he's the only one that has that pair of shoes. He wasn't racing. It was just him trying to break 2 hours.
So apparently my camera stopped recording. So I'm gonna just finish up what I was saying here. He wasn't racing. It was just him trying to break 2 hours. It's still in prototype phase. So we're probably gonna see those released for the public probably around the Tokyo Olympics. So that's kind of pretty much all I said for the rest of that. I hope you enjoyed my little rant on that. It's something I've been wanting to try to talk about for a while. If you have any comments about it or any arguments, I guess, just leave a comment down below, and I will try to, there's not like a ton of people saying it at once, so I'll reply, and I'm going to try to keep it civil. It's just a pair of shoes, but I hope you guys had a good one.